I'm Mike Rogerson. I was born in Hathersaght. Harry Schofield, who was the headmaster at the time, announced that the King had died. I remember him seeing a picture of him waving goodbye to Elizabeth and Philip, and he looked pretty ropey then, didn't he? I remember 1953 for a variety of reasons. One of the most exciting things for me was the fact that they announced that the British team had climbed Mount Everest a few days earlier, and the news had got through on Coronation Day. The day itself dawned very, very wet and remained so for the rest of the day. There was a very attractive barbecue run all day in the village in what was the Ordnance Arms car park, which is now where the deli is, in the centre of the village. There was all sorts of things. There was a whole carcass of beef, I think, sheep. I remember, I think it was Andrew Chadwick from Abney brought a load of chickens down for the feast, one of which hadn't quite been executed properly. And when he twisted its neck a bit more, it ran round the yard with its head off. It was hilarious. From then we could have as much or as little, whatever we wanted to eat all day long. The barbecue itself was being manned by one of the butchers from the village, Asa Littlewood, and other helpers. We then would make our way up to what is now, is the Methodist Chapel area, and there was a wooden hut to the right of where the schoolroom is now, in which there was a large screen, probably, I don't know how wide it was, but maybe 8 feet wide and more, and we could watch that all day if we wanted to. It was a bit fuzzy, so occasionally we'd go into the other schoolroom where there were 2 or 3 televisions mounted and they could see a little more clearly. There were funny jokes being made by people like Noel Coward, I think, when they showed Queen Salotti of Tonga in an open carriage, despite the rain, with a tiny little diplomat with her. And somebody asked him who was that, and he said, "Oh, that's her lunch." The whole thing went on for hours, obviously. Very exciting for kids, I suppose, really, because it was the most dramatic thing that we'd ever seen. There were lots of military in the parade, and lots of royals and dignitaries from all around the world. In the evening, after we'd all gone home, having stuffed ourselves with endless great big sandwiches of pork and beef and lamb and whatever, there was a concert in the Memorial Hall. We all would be invited to take part. Lots of kids, quite a lot of adults too, formed a choir ad hoc and sang lots of patriotic songs like Land of Hope and Glory, which we all thought was great. And at the same time, food never lost its place in this day. And in the Lawrence Hall, there were some ladies serving jellies, trifles, cakes, buns, which we visited many times. We were all presented with a gift to represent the coronation, and I think it was anointing spoons, which weren't very exciting, but okay, they were a memory of some sort. And I remember feeling rather sick in the middle of the night, but that was my fault for eating too many trifles and jellies.